Hey, welcome to Shift. I'm Elliot, and this is where we hit life's shortcut keys together. You know how on your computer you've got shortcuts, like Ctrl Z to undo a mistake, or Ctrl S to save your work? Well, here we're doing the same thing, but for life. Each shortcut is like a small reminder, a quick hack, a reset button for how we think, feel, and live. Today's shortcut is Ctrl A, and we're diving into the power of accepting your full self. Now, if you're listening to this, chances are you felt that gnawing feeling, that little voice in the back of your head saying, if only I were a little bit funnier, a little bit smarter, a little bit more put together. Or maybe it's that internal list of flaws you've been working on since you were a teenager, the one that seems to never get shorter, the one that says you're not worthy of love or success unless you fix all of it. I feel that. Just yesterday, my daughter, Lucy, brought home a drawing from preschool. It was this beautiful explosion of purple and yellow squiggles. "Look, Daddy," she said, holding it up like it was a Rembrandt. And I looked at it, and I loved it. There was no part of me that thought, the lines aren't straight. The circles aren't perfect. This could be better. I just saw her pure, creative joy. And I thought, why is it so easy to accept and love her completely, but so darn hard to do the same for ourselves? On your computer, hitting Ctrl A does something super simple and profound. It selects all. Every single line of text, every image, every little space and punctuation mark on the page is highlighted and included. It doesn't pick and choose. It doesn't say, you know what, I'll select everything except that one typo you made 3 paragraphs back. Nope, it just grabs it all. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the messy. All of it. And in life, Ctrl A is a reminder of something bigger, that true wellness begins when we accept our full selves. It's the shortcut to a kind of peace that isn't about striving for perfection, but about embracing the whole masterpiece, the parts we love and the parts that make us cringe. It's a way to hit select all on our own lives. This isn't some airy-fairy, love yourself unconditionally platitude. This is a practical, foundational shortcut. Because when you don't accept all of yourself, you're constantly at war with a part of who you are. And that war, my friends, is exhausting. It drains your energy, it saps your creativity, and it keeps you from showing up fully in the world. So let's dive into what this really looks like. First point, accepting your full self means releasing the need to be fixed. We live in a world obsessed with self-improvement. And hey, I'm all for growth, but there's a huge difference between wanting to grow and believing you're fundamentally broken. Think about it like this. A website developer doesn't look at their code and say, this is trash, I need to burn it down and start from scratch. No, they look at it and say, okay, this function is a little clunky, let's optimize this part, let's add a new feature here. They're working with what's there, not rejecting it. And yet, how many of us look at ourselves and feel that we need a complete reboot? Maybe you're a little introverted and you've spent years trying to be the life of the party. Or you're a worrier and you've been fighting your anxiety instead of understanding it. Accepting your full self with a Ctrl A mindset means you acknowledge these traits, not as flaws to be erased, but as parts of who you are. You can work with them, not against them. You can be an introverted person who learns to network in a way that feels authentic, rather than a pretend extrovert who burns out. Second point, self-acceptance is the key to emotional resilience. When you accept all of yourself, you stop tying your worth to your performance or to how other people see you. I was talking to a friend the other day who's an incredible artist. He poured his heart into the sculpture for an exhibition, and when he didn't win the top prize, he was crushed. He said he felt like a fraud. And I said, did the quality of your art change in the time between them announcing the winner and you finding out? He just looked at me and he said, no, I guess not. The sculpture was what it was. The effort he put in was what it was. But his self-worth was tied to an external outcome. When you hit Ctrl A and accept the person who puts in the work, who creates from the heart, who tries and sometimes fails, you build a foundation of worth that no external event can shake. The rejection hurts, but it doesn't dismantle you. You can look at the whole picture, the effort, the skill, the vulnerability, and still say, I am enough. Third point, this isn't just about a mental shift, it's about a physical and emotional one too. When we don't accept parts of ourselves, we hold on to them in our bodies. That knot in your stomach before a difficult conversation, the tight shoulders when you're facing a deadline, the shallow breath you take when you feel judged, that's your body's way of telling you that you're in a state of resistance. My daughter Lucy has this little habit when she's frustrated. She'll stomp her foot and puff out her cheeks. It's so honest and so pure. She's not trying to hide her feelings. We, as adults, get so good at hiding them from others and from ourselves. We push down the parts we don't like, the grief, the anger, the fear, but they don't just disappear. They linger, creating a low-grade state of stress. Hitting Ctrl A on your emotions means acknowledging them fully. It's not about being controlled by them, but about giving them space to be felt. It's about saying, I'm feeling anxious right now, and that is okay. I am feeling disappointed, and that is a valid feeling. When you allow yourself to feel it all, you release the tension. It's like highlighting all the text on the page so you can finally see it and process it, instead of trying to read it in a tiny font in the dark. All right, so how do we actually apply this in real life? Here's a few quick practical steps. Action step number 1. The daily check-in. At the end of your day, take 5 minutes to sit quietly. Instead of listing everything you did wrong, simply check in with yourself. Acknowledge what you did and how you felt. I felt stressed in that meeting, and that's valid. I was proud of how I handled that email. This isn't about judgment, it's about observation. Action step number 2, the just because list. Take a moment to list 3 things you like about yourself, not because of what you accomplished, but just because. Maybe it's your laugh, the way you listen to people, or your ability to grow a houseplant. These are things you accept about yourself regardless of performance. Action step number 3, practice compassionate language. When you hear that negative self-talk, reframe it. Instead of, I'm so lazy for not exercising today, try, my body needed rest today, and that's okay. Speak to yourself like you would a friend. Here's your challenge for the week, if you're up for it. Think of it like pressing Ctrl A in real life. Your challenge is to let go of one should. That one thing you feel you should be doing or should be better at. Maybe you feel you should be more disciplined with your diet, or you should be on top of your social calendar. For 1 week, give yourself permission to release that pressure, and instead, focus on just being with yourself, as you are right now. No judgment, no striving, just acceptance. See what kind of space that creates. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Shift. I hope this episode helps you see that you are already whole and worthy. Not because of what you achieve, but because of who you are, in all your beautiful, messy complexity. If this episode clicked for you, make sure to subscribe, share it with a friend who might need to hear this, and keep pressing those shortcut keys in life. Next time, we'll be exploring a new shortcut, Ctrl F, all about finding your why in life. Until then, keep it light, keep it real, and remember, sometimes all you need is a little shift.